Right, so let's talk you through some underpinning. So here you can see is a very general layout drawing that we would receive from a structural engineer, which would show us what we have to do to complete the pin within a particular structure or a particular building. So this one here shows us the layout, shows us the pin widths, and then we'd have a sequencing that we'd have to follow on a different drawing. This just showing the layout here. If we move up to the top here, it shows us the size and the width and the depth of the pin that we have for each pin that relates back to a section in the drawing there. So initially we would dig down, we would only dig the width of the pin, we would dig down to formation level, approximately 1 metre from the wall to give ourselves some working room within there. On here we would back prop and support that with some ply boards or some temporary propping in order to stop any soil that we have dug away from caving in against the guys whilst they're working in the basement, in the pin there. So once we've dug down and we've got to our formation level, we would put a 50mm concrete blind down on the floor there to give us a nice clean area to work to and give us some good level control for our reinforcement. Next phase would be to tie the reinforcement cage according to the structural engineer's drawings. It's normally a rebar, loose bar or mesh, depending on what's specified, but we make sure that the guys follow the particular drawing for that particular job. Once we have the reinforcement tied in there and our reinforcement has started up the wall, we can then pour that base, allow that to cure, and then we can start our works on the wall here. So again, as with the base, we would then install the reinforcement in the wall section from top to bottom, allowing us to then place our formwork, be it timber or a proprietary system, in front of it here and mass pour the wall with concrete. Good compaction with the concrete. Always use a concrete poker to allow the air that's trapped in there as we pour it to escape throughout the top. And once we've finished our concrete pour, we then look at our dry pack. So we allow our wall to dry, and then we have a 75mm, 50 to 75mm sometimes, dry pack section at the top here. That's our transition between our new foundation and our old foundation. The dry pack is very important because as this wall concrete dries, it will shrink ever so slightly, and then we ram the dry pack in good and tight and hard there, to allow for any of that shrinkage to be taken up in the new section of dry pack. This stops any settlement within the old foundation as it relates to the new one that we've poured underneath. And then once we've done that, we'll move on to our next sequence pin, which would be probably 3 or 4 sections away from the pin that we've just poured. Allow everything to cure and go off properly, and then that's how we just rinse and repeat around the rest of the building.